So today I want to talk about the joys of parenting a teenage boy. So if you have teenage boys and you're a parent, this could very much resonate with you. So keep on watching and keep on listening. Welcome back to consecutive day 1714 of a diary of a Runpreneur. And today's topic is all about parenting a teenage boy and the joys and challenges that presents. But before we get to that, please remember this is part of a fundraiser of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, a distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. Any support you can give gets in front of more people, raises more money and saves more children's lives, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, and let's get started. So, consecutive day 1714 of a diary of a Runpreneur, and today's topic is all about parenting a teenage boy. I do have 3 children, but just one teenager at present who is 14, and he is a lovely boy, I have to confess. But my word, there are some challenges that I've been experiencing as a father of a teenage boy stroke man. And the reason for the vlog, I suppose, is kind of justification. Am I parenting correctly? Am I being too harsh? Am I being too soft even? I'm pretty chilled when it comes to parenting. I think I'm probably far more of a disciplinarian than my wife. I think my wife has got more compassion, empathy, is more, I think she's a better parent without a doubt. But my kind of views is to make them self-sufficient and allow them to stand on their own 2 feet as early as I can, and obviously teach them when they do something right and teach them when they do something wrong. That's always been my kind of mantra. And I struggle a little bit with my oldest son at the moment, because he is highly capable. He's a lovely lad, but he just does, without being too generalised, typical teenager things: cutting corners, being lazy, kind of a lack of respect, these types of things. And you know, it's got to a stage where I'm just getting incredibly frustrated with it, to be honest with you. I don't have many rules, but one of the rules I have of my children, if they have a phone, if either me or their mum messages them or calls them, they pick up and they respond. Now, if they're busy at school or something, obviously that's very different. Or if they're busy in something where they can't speak or message, again, that's fine. But if they're just messing about with their friends and they choose to ignore a phone call from their parents or a message, then I think that's unacceptable. The other thing that I have as well, I'm just going past someone here who I know, and I'm vlogging, so I might get a little wave. Big man, how are you?
All right.
And it's one of those where it's just a respect thing, and I expect that. And it's not, I get that with their friends, they feel embarrassed if their dad or mum's calling, but I don't see, well, maybe I'm dressed in bright orange and I vlog every day on all social platforms. Maybe I'm a massive embarrassment to him, but I don't feel I am. And if a parent calls their child, they should respond. So that's one thing. The next thing was, when my eldest goes on his social trips or whatever with his mates, around his mate's house, whether it's like clubs or whatever they're doing, and I'm a taxi driver basically, and you know, I'm absolutely fine with that. I want my children to have good experiences, have fun, be involved, socialise, all that side of things, but at the same time respect my time. And if we've agreed and agreed, I do allow an element of negotiation. If we've agreed a time that I'm going to be collecting and I'm turning up to collect them at that time, bear in mind we agree a time before they go, and then we'll text and agree a time closer to the time, just in case they need a little bit longer. I'm quite flexible with that. But when we've agreed it and I turn up and I ring and I message and I don't get the phone picked up or the message responded to, again, I feel that I'm being taken the mick of and that I'm being completely disrespected. And my argument to that is that just pick up, just message back. It's not difficult. I'm just saying I'm outside, and if you're going to be 5 minutes, that's fine. but don't take the mick and be 15 minutes. There was one occasion where I got a pretty sharp message back saying, I'm just finishing off, I'll be a couple of minutes. 15 minutes later he comes out. Again, that's a lack of respect. So I've given warnings on this now, and I've just said that, do you know what? That's fine, it's happened. If it happens again, I won't be coming to pick you up on the next trip. I'll pick you up again the time after that, that's fine, but the next one I won't. Okay, just so you appreciate that if you disrespect me, I won't do what you want me to do for you. And I think that's a fair consequence. And the final one that I'm just going to moan about is, you know, we as a family, when we're all at home, which is a little bit rarer as they're getting older, we spend time together in the evenings as a family, at dinner times and evening times before the younger children go to bed. And that's always been what we've done. And it's always been a normally fine thing. But the other night, my wife was out, and the other two, with the younger two, were with me. And my eldest feels that he's just going to go on his PS5 with all his mates. And I let it go for a significant amount of time because he wants to socialise with his mates, that's fine. But I said, right, enough's enough now. And I said, right, come down. And I'm respectful. I don't interrupt him because he's on the call with his mates, and I don't embarrass him or anything like that. But I went up and said, very quietly, right, wind it up now, it's enough. Again, just in one ear out the other. And then eventually I go up again, and he's still in one ear out the other, but eventually he comes off. He comes down and then says he's going to shower, which is fine. So yeah, I say, go to have a shower, it's fine. And then come down. And then I said, there's no more on the PS5 tonight. Bear in mind, he'd had hours and hours on it in this evening. He then has a shower, and it's longer than usual. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, but then pop up, and lo and behold, he's back on the PS5 again. And I just say to him, come on, you've just got to step it up, because the wet towel was on the floor in his bedroom. He hadn't squeegeed the shower, put the towel in the floor towel on the radiator, just little things that we all do. And he hadn't done that just to get back to his screen. So I said, if that happens again, I'll take your PS5 controller and I'll take it for a day. And I don't think that's being overly strict. It's just, there's a consequence for not doing the things that are right to do. And then, just for the record, he is a lovely lad, and he's a really good lad. He's a great boy. He's turned into a lovely man. But I'm just trying to tidy up these kind of loose edges. The other one was he runs with me every Sunday. Okay, it's more of a treat for me than for him, but it helps his football and his fitness, and I think he sees the benefit of that this season, so he's quite committed. But it's always, I'm giving him plenty of notice. It's always like, oh, let me just finish my game, and I'm like, well, that's fine normally, but if I'm not going to run at night, I always try and run before the sun sets. So I tell him I'm going to run at this time. I said, I'm not going to come and get you. You should be old enough and responsible enough now to come down before that time. But if it gets to that time and you're not down, I'm going to go without you. And then that's always going to be the format. I'll tell you the time I'm leaving. If you're ready and down, you come with me. If you don't, then I'll go without you. And he sees that. He feels guilty when that kind of happens. And I've done it on 2 occasions now because he's just too busy on his computer to kind of keep track of the time and come for a run, which is obviously a lot less attractive than playing on his console with his friends. So I suppose the learnings from my diary for today are that parenting a teenage boy has its challenge. I'm sure teenagers in general have their challenges, and I'm sure girls have different challenges to boys. But I look at my 12-year-old girl who's nearly a teenager, and she's just so responsible, borderline more responsible than me. And then you've got my eldest son who should be more responsible, who's irresponsible in so many ways, but could be so responsible. And I'm not asking him to grow up too quickly, too soon, but there are just certain standards that we should abide by and respect one another. And I feel that there's been some standards that have slipped, and I've talked through my kind of justification for the actions I've taken, and I feel that they're fair and I feel that they're just. But my wife sometimes feels that I'm a bit too hard on him, whereas I don't. And ultimately we are very aligned in our values and beliefs as parents, but I think she's just possibly a more loving and kind and caring parent than me, who possibly a bit more ruthless. But we're both doing it in the best interests of our children. So it's an open debate. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Any questions or comments, drop me a line. I'll respond to everyone. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always. Stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.